Critics on social media slamming this $890 black turtleneck with a red cutout for the mouth.
You know him as El Chapo. A New York judge sentenced a 62-year-old to life in prison.
Me and Flex looking in the index for buff net niggas just for some hot butt sex.
Reach millions and millions of people, and or we get stuck on Colin not having a job.
The reality is, I've tried everything and cannot get back onto my accounts for Black Fox News and my personal account for Grady Graham.
Wondering where God's gonna say hi. Yeah, you're looking at church in the night sky.
This morning, Apple admitting that its workers can listen to what you say to Siri on your phone, watch, or iPad, even in your car.
I want to talk to you about the claims from Rashawn Khan that you and Paul Mooney had a sexual relationship back in the 80s. Thank you. Is there any truth to that? I know that Paul Mooney's denied it.
Well, whatever happened in my life, it happened when I was young.
I tried to deal with our original sin of slavery by fighting a civil war, by passing landmark civil rights legislation. We've elected an African-American president.
To stem the violence, Mexican security officials were forced to release Guzman.
Rest in peace, Juice WRLD. Rest in peace, Robert Seth Hayes. And rest in peace, Bushwick Bill.
Sycamore.
We getting money over here, that's a fact. It's a lot of honeys over here, that's a fact. We ain't dressing bummy over here, that's a fact. Nah, we ain't no dummies over here, that's a fact. Yeah, I came up, that's a fact. Even though these beats flamed up, that's a fact. I'm about to fuck the game up, that's a fact. You real, you ain't gotta change up, that's a fact. Bishop, great, a.k.a. that's my dude. Look me up, I'm editor-in-chief for Black Fox News, where I'm the streets reporter of this new world order. All self-proclaimed, critically acclaimed, verse slaughterer. I give you gems all year, now I'm giving more to you. Put you on to so much, you tell me get them all for you. I'm all in you. Real, no, I'm destined for a meal. You gon' get this news mixed with how the fuck I feel. Was it an assassination or just plain hating? Rest in power, Nipsey Hussle, who fell to Satan. March 31st, he took the form of Eric Holder. Fellow rolling 60 crip with a chip on his shoulder. He left the whip in the alley of the sophomore with Nip. Ran the marathon, closed the small store that was legit. A sloth in the transfer in the parking lot, he took the hit. Street saying shit because a fly Mac was a snitch. Oh, this is a prosecutor's daughter tried to represent the low life who made law in London. The only parent to a kid, but he fell back from fighting the case. The hate was too intense, too much boxing for him. I guess the gloves didn't fit. It's crazy how they play you out when you make a route. It seems premeditated, but he tried to check himself into the crazy house. So say he testified this money he earned from that homicide, but that right there we couldn't confirm. Hustle was doing a documentary on Dr. Sebi, Honduran herbalist who promoted alkaline heavy.
Did I read it correctly where there was some requirement for you to actually bring patients, a patient into court from each of those maladies, and that you brought multiple patients in court who, one, testified themselves, and that you had medical records, one showing that they were victims of the disease, and then showing that it had been cured by one doctor, and then a second doctor verifying what the first doctor had said?
Yes. We have to remember this, that whenever you make a statement that goes against the grain, you better be prepared.
Threatening big pharma, knew could be deadly. Nick Cannon handles it now, he thinks he's Eminem ready. Whenever it's murder against the grain of the culture, I think MK Ultra or plot by a vulture. Like when my town Jersey City made the news when shots and taxes left chicks dead, they called it a mass shooting.
Let's get it. Hey, y'all know you're gonna be the one that take him down. Yeah, big draws. Let's get him, big draws. Big draw!
Pop killed at the cemetery, shoot out at the coastal store. They blaming black Israelites, but that ain't what they known for. Are their ideas extreme? I mean, I guess so. But they ain't got shit on white supremacist manifestos. Will Martin, El Paso, Texas, and San Diego synagogue. Dude even shot a rabbi, must have been a demigod. Christchurch, New Zealand, dude shot a one too many malls. They're 58, that like my phone, but I got plenty balls. In New York City, white dude claimed he's trying to start a race war and stab the black man. Still I wonder how much government involved. Could be motivated by Earth's #1 demagogue. Trump said we want and give a fuck if he offended y'all. July was the hottest month for record and fact, but Donald's tweets and policies that make the streets hotter than that. bigotry and rollbacks, the entity and water act. Now we've been impeached, and I'm breaking down all of that. We getting money over here, that's a fact. It's a lot of honeys over here, that's a fact. We ain't dressing bummy over here, that's a fact. Nah, we ain't no dummies over here, that's a fact. Yeah, my stock up, that's a fact. I wanna free my niggas locked up, that's a fact. My team headed to the top, yup, that's a fact. Your girl wanna pick my cock up, that's a fact. Happy New Year, motherfucker, in my CML voice. Stomp your feet, sing and clap till your hands get moist. We at the end of a decade, politics became religion. That was 2020, some of y'all still ain't got vision. Rules became demons, Toys R Us shut down. Netflix went from mailing rentals to streaming. Now every channel got a streaming app and it's not allowed by a.k.a. and Billboard counting streams from Spotify. Jay-Z became the first billionaire that rap right before he turned 50, that's a hell of a stat. Ironically, it gave rap its heart named Lil Nas X. Guess now we know what he meant by the most in the back. 2010 we had a half-black president. Now we got a con artist that galvanized racist white residents. Environmentally negligent and far from reticent. Now we just got impeached by the House of Representatives after weeks of investigation and litigation on whether Trump really did shit to offend this nation. They discovered nonsense and voted on articles of impeachment as abuse of power and an obstruction of Congress. Articles are just generalized reasons what he did for abuse of power could be considered treason. Started with a phone call seemingly made in vain on July 25th with the president of Ukraine. Trump put President Zelensky in the quid pro quo, and that's probably shit the release transcript don't show since they put it on private servers. They hide it, but even the public script showed the push for investigating the Biden.
And by the way, likewise, China should start an investigation into the Bidens.
While referencing help the U.S. gave, 91 minutes later they hauled to the military aid. Zelensky was supposed to announce the investigation publicly. A CIA worker blew the whistle on this shit, luckily for the Democrats, I guess. But I confess, the Bidens in Ukraine seem like a goddamn mess. Joe's son Hunter leaves the Navy as a cokehead, but gets a $50K per month company board position. Go ahead for an energy business named Burisma that was in more hot water than coffee beans with baristas. Joe leveraged aid to have Ukraine's prosecutor fired while he was Obama's VP. Said cause he couldn't do his job investigating Burisma. Joe could be a liar, but US and Ukraine investigators found nothing prior. So for Trump to bring this up only leads to one thing, taking his presidential run out the political ring. So if you ignore all the other shit Donald did that was evil, that don't take away from the fact that this shit was illegal. Pompeo and Pence were on that call too, and instead of owning up to what they did, they rather fall too. Abusive power from abusive cowards with their fingers on these buttons for nuclear showers. I'm good. The House got the whistleblower complaint, then did their research and began to pull rank. Subpoenas, trials, and testimonies, what do you know? Trump has some White House people making sure they don't sow. So voting for impeachment, articles on all this. That's how they came to obstruction of Congress. And representatives voted along party lines. The senator probably do the same, but that's hardly fine. Cause only part of Congress impeached him, and the majority Republican senator vote to keep it.
I'm not an impartial juror. This is a political process. There's not anything judicial about it.
We getting money over here, that's a fact. It's a lot of honeys over here, that's a fact. We ain't dressing bummy over here, that's a fact. Nah, we ain't no dummies over here, that's a fact. Yeah, I came up, that's a fact. Leaving all these beats flamed up, that's a fact. I'm about to fuck the game up, that's a fact. You real, you ain't gotta change up, that's a fact. Why join them when I could beat them? I gotta go gold. They starting to ban plastic, my album gotta go gold. There's a million species on Earth at risk of extinction. The climate change biodiversity, your water for drinking. There's a million people Trump wanted to move out the country with ICE. That mean they undocumented migrants, the right with no life. He announced this on social media, of course it made me bitter. And that was after I made the petition get Donald Trump on Twitter. On change.org by reverse Grady Bishops to Jack Dorsey and government. I must be triggered like Killer Mike tweeting lies, putting troops in danger. And racist shit like when he told the squad go back where they came from. That's for congresswomen of color new to the whole setup. All raised here, 3 were born here, now their death threats up. Deutsche Bank got sued by Trump to block posts that was on their asses because the Treasury wanted paperwork related to his taxes. And Deutsche refused warnings from employees. Some who saw red flag transactions by Trump and his son-in-law. They loaned him $2 billion these past 20 years. He owe him hundreds of M's. How will he pay them back? When government stay in Trump hotels, he gets paid from that. Treasury and justice money, he can play with that. For the border wall, cause he called the national emergency. Fed courts got flooded with red judges so it look like we okay with that. Red Senate, red White House, I smoke red line. I'm for where wigs get pushed back like Brexit deadlines. Your homies get locked down like India did part of Kashmir. Beef like doggone Fulani tribe did this past year. Lot of bodies in this climate, can't always blame crime. Mozambique, Zimbabwe, when Lobby got hit at the same time with cyclones that took 1,000 plus. Recovery it takes time. Ebola still taking lives in the Congo, just like gang crimes, but it's curable now. 90% getting saved lives. In Germany, there's a rise in anti-Semitic hate crimes. Supreme Court rule federal state could charge you with the same crime, so careful cross the state lines, cause every day is game time. Blues over the Bruins for the Stanley Cup, Raptors over the Warriors for the chip. Kobe Leonard told him Andy up. And not to say you this, I wasn't a big fan, but how Drake came off the bench could have been a six-man. Nationals over Astros, Patriots over Rams. Jay-Z did a deal with the NFL. I'm like, damn, he left the movement, but Kaepernick did get a tryout. I'm still waiting to see what happens before I label it a buyout. Women's soccer won the World Cup with the Netherlands lights out. Megan Rapinoe said, I'm not going to the fucking White House. Trade wars with China, the brink of war with Iran, and takeover attempt at Venezuela shit's out of hand. Ain't illuminates when they see us on the Central Park 5. I lit the Fairstein fire, still Trump should apologize. So then you see my black face, you know. Ain't talking governors, K. Ivy, Ralph Northam, or PM Justice is dope. We get money over here, that's a fact. It's a lot of honeys over here, that's a fact. We ain't dressing bummy over here, that's a fact. Nah, we ain't no dummies over here, that's a fact. We ain't gonna lose over here, that's a fact. Doing what we choose over here, that's a fact. If you get your news over here, that's a fact. We serving all views over here, that's a fact. Yeah, definitely way more shit too, but I'ma end it off there, man. Shout out Danny Glover and Ta-Nehisi Coates with the HR 40 reparations bill. But black folks, don't hold your breath for that shit.
5-2 for UAE, all that shit, man.
Yeah. Bitch. Play a little something for the pimps, hustlers, players, ballers. Fucking on the whole tonight, ain't even gonna call her, cause we thinking big, never smaller. Family on the payroll and the homie that's a lawyer, cause I'm trying to live my best life. Out here living wrong, cause I'm trying to live right. Just take me